Is right here now.
Well, thank you all for joining, and I'm going to start just muting everybody's mics, just so that we can begin service. And all right. Well, thank you all for joining, and appreciate y'all being here on a sunny Sunday. How appropriate being so sunny outside and it being a Sunday, and looking forward to the many more sunny Sundays that we'll have going forward. I'm very blessed to be here and blessed to have a guest speaker that is going to be talking to you today. We know her, we love her. Jennifer Halpern, you can give a wave. And she'll be talking to us and bestowing some wisdom upon us. And she's also going to be talking to us during the offering portion of our service as well. And you'll eventually learn more about what that will entail. So we're very fortunate to have her here and offer her wisdom and guidance. And now we'll just begin with the invocation. So everybody, they can close their eyes for a moment. Take a few deep breaths in, really soak in all those rays that come pouring in your window or wherever you find yourself in. Infinite Divine Spirit, we lift our hearts today to hear the healing harmonies that soften our earthly pain and distress and bring us comfort. May we absorb all the wisdom that we hear today, and may the wisdom be instilled in our minds and our hearts as we strive to remain in concert with our physical and spiritual journeys. Amen. All right. So for those that are not on video or Zoom, you won't be able to see the spiritualist principles, but that's okay. I will read them out loud. But I would ask if those who maybe have them memorized or do see them on the screen, please join in reading along with me. This creates that force or that energy behind perpetuating these beliefs out into the world. I believe that these beliefs are truly good and bring light into the world. So we subscribe to the following principles. Infinite intelligence, the deity, the designing and creating energy of everything in the universe. One universe, many dimensions. From one source came all that is present in our world, our galaxy, and beyond. The immortal soul. The soul is eternal. We seek truth within ourselves, from other souls, from sacred writings, and from the natural order that sustains us. Communication between the material and the non-material world. Spirit transcends all dimensions. All souls, flesh, and spirit communicate with each other. Personal responsibility. Cause produces effect through thoughts, words, and deeds. We create ourselves and our circumstances, and we are singly responsible for our choices and creations. The golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is our highest morality. Okay. now to the healing meditation portion of our service. So begin to wiggle and get comfortable in whatever chair or couch or even bed that you find yourself sitting in. This, if you can, maybe dim the lights or pull down the shade a little bit, but maybe you don't. I have the sun coming in and I'm going to meditate with the sun shining in because I feel like I need some rays. But whatever makes you feel comfortable. Usually I play music, but I think today we're going to do some silent meditation in honor of Janet. Who often tells me it's a little too loud. And when you're ready and you're comfortable in your place, close your eyes. Take some deep breaths in through your nose. Really fill up your lungs with air. Breathe out, feeling that breath pass your lips. Just breathe normally. Focus and embrace every single breath. Air passing through your nose and out from your mouth. And with every breath, your body begins to relax. Any thoughts or worries that were in your mind drift away. Any tension in your neck and shoulders. Begins to fade. And warmth and relaxation come to your muscles. Tension in your hands and arms begin to ease. And you feel the warmth spread to those parts of your body. Relaxation, vibration slowly moves down into your legs and feet. Any pain or discomfort goes away. It's replaced with relaxation. Body begins to float. Feel weightless. Tingling in your fingertips and toes. You begin to feel lighter. surface you're sitting on begins to fade away, and the room surrounding you also begins to fade away. You're surrounded in complete white light. It's beautiful white light of healing, energy, love, and warmth. And it fills your aura with this light. Spend some time in this space and really soak up all of that white light around you. Let it move across your body. Allow yourself to breathe in this white light. Trusting and knowing that this white light knows where you need healing and where you need love. Now envision yourself in a field of grass, green, vibrant grass. Soft and delicate to touch. It's a beautiful sunny day around you. Tall trees surround this field, framing it perfectly. The sun at its peak above you, raining down its rays, healing, light, and essential nutrients for your body. Take this opportunity to lie down in the soft grass and feel the vibrations from the earth. Feel the vibrations of the sun. And as you take in these vibrations of the earth and the sun, and the wind going through trees, and the sounds of nature around you, simply admire the clouds passing by as you look into the sky. See these clouds passing, fluffy and weightless, just as though you yourself are a cloud, receiving the same energy and vibrations as the clouds that you're admiring. Stay there a while and continue to soak in these vibrations of love and healing. In a moment. Start making our way back. The image of the clouds begins to fade. Sounds of birds around you start to grow quieter. The wind against the trees begins to die down. The tall grass beneath you becomes nothing. You're surrounded in white light again, floating, weightless. Feeling the healing vibrations that we received in that beautiful place. And knowing others need that healing too. So for a moment, think of those that also need that white light of healing around you. You can think of loved ones' faces, loved ones' names. Think of the great many people that need our help, need this white light. So take a moment and Picture those people in your mind. Having thought of those people that needed to, begin to see the white light fade around you. Some sensation coming back to your toes and fingers. An image of the room around you begins to appear. Feel the weight of your body in the chair. Sensation comes back to your shoulders and legs and arms. That healing energy is what remains. When you're ready, you may open your eyes and come back to the room that you find yourselves in. Thank you all for taking that turn. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up the prayer for spiritual healing. And again, you may all read along with me if you so choose or please. We ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from our minds and bodies and to restore us to perfect health. We ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and we will do our part. We ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. We put our trust in the love and power of Spirit. Amen. Thank you all for joining me on that spiritual healing. I think David's asleep. That may be because I did my job. If I did, oh yeah. I did my job right. But then again, it doesn't take much for me to get David to fall asleep. Well, thank you all. I hope everybody feel much better, feel lighter from that experience. I do. So for the next portion of our service is the offering portion of our service. which for those who have attended in the past online since the pandemic, uh, we felt that a lot of our overhead was cut dramatically, which I guess is a good thing for us, and that we were able to shift over to an online presence and instead. But we didn't feel comfortable accepting donations. So what we have been doing instead of accepting donations during the offering portion of the service is that's what we would do if we were in person, but featuring organizations that are nonprofit or charity, and just bringing our attention, our light to those organizations. And I am really lucky and fortunate to be featuring a charity that we have I guess the big cheese, the founder of said charity, and I'm going to share it on the screen, and then Jen Halpern is going to talk to us about her charity that she has. And it's called Pillows for Paws. So let me share that up on the screen for everybody to see. Oh, there we go. Jen, you can unmute your mic and take it away. Unless you can't.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Great. Well, first of all, Terence, thank you so much for having me. I am always happy to talk about my charity. So Pillows for Paws is a charity that I founded 10 years ago. I'm still the active president, and we are a completely volunteer-run nonprofit organization. And our mission is to donate beds, toys, and treats to shelter cats, dogs, rabbits, and guinea pigs. And our focus is also to help these animal care centers of New York City, which is the city shelter. They have little to no funding for these types of items, and we feel that they're very important. So, when animals come into a shelter, they're probably coming from a really traumatizing experience. They might have been abused or neglected, or maybe their person just passed away. And it's a really scary place to be. It's loud, it's noisy, it's shocking. And we feel that having a cozy bed, just like we would want our own companion animals to have to make them feel more comfortable, we want to give all those animals a cozy bed to feel warm and snuggle on. We want to give them a toy so that they can stay active in their cages or kennels. And of course, we want to give them treats because they deserve them. So usually we meet monthly in person. Obviously, we haven't been doing that, but we still have a very active group of volunteers who are doing all of this stuff at home. They're making beds and toys at home. So we constantly are needing materials. There are 35,000 animals surrendered to the city shelter every year. So you can imagine our volunteers are pretty busy sewing and making toys. So we always need fabric, catnip, hay, anything like that we can use to just keep giving our volunteers more stuff so that they can keep making beds and toys. So if you would like to donate, please go to pillowsforpaws.org. You can go to also @pillowsforpaws on social media. And when you are getting your next companion animal, remember to adopt, don't shop.
Thank you. And I'm most definitely going to put the link to Pillows for Paws for everybody to just click in on the chat, and just it'll take you right to the website.
Thank you.
Want to contribute, and just a wonderful organization. Of course, Jen is a very good friend, and is also a good and lovable friend to our animal friends.
Yes.
Our animal friends and family.
Our furry friends.
Our furry friends, which we also care about. One I guess one blessing to at least one aspect of this pandemic that is a blessing is that I have been hearing reports that a lot of animals that are being adopted at a higher rate than ever before. So that is a blessing, but it's still, there's more to be done. There's more to do. And it hasn't made that zero, that number that of how many animals do go to these, kennels or pounds or adoption centers. It hasn't dropped it to zero. So they still need comfort and warmth. And so, so please contribute. I'll put in a link for everybody to just click on at their convenience. And while we have Jen speaking right now,
hey,
we're going to move on.
Give a speech, right?
We'll go on to the next portion of our service, which will be the lecture, which is going to be given by our good friend Jen Halpern, and a healer, intuitive consultant, psychic medium, furry friend, or ally, and all around wonderful person. We're just very lucky to have her speak for us. So take it away, Jen.
Thank you, Terence, and it is wonderful to be here. Thank you all for joining in this beautiful Sunday. So, there's been a lot of change going on for all of us right now, as our families and our communities and our world continues to shift in different ways. Now, last year around this time, all of our lives did a complete 180 as most of our rules and structures disappeared. We did what we could to make our old routine fit into our new one. And when that realistically couldn't happen, we had to give up certain pieces of our lives to move forward. It was abrupt and shocking, and we all watched as the entire world shut down. And most of us couldn't take our eyes off the news as we sat powerless watching the sad stories of suffering and pain from afar or by those affected in our personal lives. And as our physical world around us has changed, we had no choice but to quickly go into survival mode and create new schedules, routines, and responsibilities to keep us all safe. Now, what most of us didn't have time to do was that we didn't have time to process the emotional aspects of this rapid change, which included fear and worry, anxiety, and concern for how we were going to make our ways into an unknown future. And many of us may still have not had a chance to come up for air, to sit with all those feelings that were forced to push down at the time in what turned out to be a roller coaster ride of fear, anxiety, and tension that is still continuing. Now, there has been much loss and suffering, and my heart goes out to all those that have been affected by COVID. And there is still tremendous healing that hasn't happened yet as we continue on with this pandemic into this year. We do find now that there is light at the end of the tunnel with vaccines and excitement to finally see our friends and family again in person. But change is never easy. And we just went through a ton of it, individually, as a country, and as a world. And everyone will have a story about how they were affected during this time. And I would like to share with you mine with the hope that it will resonate with some of you as we still continue to navigate a new normal. So usually when things go wrong for me, my immediate go-to is to face a problem and resolve it quickly. It's how I feel a sense of control over what's happening in my life. So when the city started to shut down, I said to myself that all I needed was a good plan that would give me a sense of structure to get through it. So I set out creating intentions and task-oriented goals of what I was going to achieve during this time. Okay, that felt productive, great. As long as I was busy moving forward with my agenda, I was going to be okay. What was interesting is that somewhere deep inside my thoughts, I felt a sense of awareness that I was creating a new set of expectations for myself about making this time count. Even though the universe was literally allowing me a timeout and trying to have me sit still and be in my present moment, I felt the need to do what I always did to feel in control. So not only was I experiencing a global pandemic, and a shift into a new world I was unfamiliar with that was scary and unknown, I thought it was a good idea to add endless to-do lists for myself to complete. And in theory, it was a good plan. I had the time. So I got busy redesigning my website, working on my charity, learning how to pivot us, reaching out to friends and networking with people that I hadn't spoken to in years. By the end of this pandemic, I was going to come out on top and even better than ever. And honestly, I did get a lot done. But of course, I didn't take into account my emotional state. That got tossed down to the bottom of the pile as a low priority. You know, it was better to stay busy and hold onto that path that I'd always known of being productive. But as day after day and month after month started to blur together, I was only feeling a tremendous amount of sadness for the suffering going on in the world and in my circle of friends and family. And after hearing story after story about fear and hopelessness, it started to chip away at my ability to remain positive. I started to feel uninspired, apathetic, and started to spiral downward. And most importantly, I started to feel incredibly disempowered. I was allowing negative self-talk to take over. I started beating myself up about how my big plans were all falling apart and how I was failing. And of course, this all led me into a deep state of paralysis. In fact, I had never experienced a sense of such powerlessness before. And then I literally just gave up one day. I just exhaled and I let it all go. And after many days of just turning everything off, this was when I realized that something was missing. There was this feeling that there was a part of me that I hadn't paid much attention to in a while. I hadn't made room for it this whole time. So in certain parts of the city, there was this clapping and cheering and honking horns that happened each night at 7 p.m. And people started doing this as a way to show gratitude to essential workers. But it also kind of was there to remind us that we were not alone. We were all connected. And for weeks, I had been hearing it and ignoring this daily routine without giving it much thought. But I found my answer one night about what was missing when I heard the wave of noise make its way to my window, and I decided to give it a try. I opened it and felt the cool air and actually began clapping and saying hello and joining the crowd and yelling, "I hear you and I'm here too." And I kept screaming and saying hello over and over again. And then it dawned on me that that something I couldn't put my finger on now made sense. And I started to feel the flow of energy surround me as my eyes started to tear. It was the first time I remembered in a long time that I was a soul having a human experience. And in a blink of an eye, I immediately felt encased in love. It was as if I were connecting and becoming a part of these energy waves of hope and light. And then I had an even bigger aha moment when I realized that I wasn't seeing the big picture here. I was so consumed with living within the senses of only my physical world, I had forgotten that I was also a spiritual being. How could I forget that? How did I let go of that connection? How was it so easy to let go of my faith and trust in divine consciousness? Now, I've always been an avid channel writer, and I would normally wake up every morning to meditate and then connect and write messages from spirit. And this was also a practice that I had let go of during this time. And I realized I needed to turn off the negative current events and turn on the other connection I had in my life for emotional self-care and balance. There were better answers for my well-being, and I started to feel much improved energetically and emotionally. And most important, my head was now swirling with thoughts of love and hope for myself and for my community and for this world. I tapped back into my soul, this beautiful piece of me that I had been neglecting for months. And I was now tuning into hearing words of compassion and kindness for myself. My most important goal at this time became that of accepting myself for where I was. for changing my daily thoughts to include positive words and staying in a place of patience with myself and for the world. And I began to feel empowered in a way that felt sustainable. I let go of that to-do list and allowed Spirit to guide me as it had wanted to all along during this time. I had a chance to see a different, more loving way and create a space of self-compassion for myself. This was truly the most important achievement for me during this time. And with more time to reflect, I could also see that this behavior was a part of a pattern for me, one in which I created high expectations for myself. And if I couldn't achieve them, I would put myself down with negative words and thoughts. And before, I would always be able to bounce back just to repeat the cycle again and again. But this time was different. I was unable to, given my extreme emotional state of sadness for the world. And that ended up being a big silver lining for me, because I became much more aware of the importance of creating positive language for myself. You know, we really don't have to go too far to connect to love. It is literally the flip of a switch. And once we awaken our soul and allow our higher self to take over, there is so much more clarity about our lives and the roads we choose to follow. It's just that simple shift we have to make to see ourselves from a spiritual perspective. And it's so easy in times of great stress to forget that the core of our being is energy. And I know we're all on different journeys during this time, and I can't even begin to imagine what they could be. And I can only share with you my story to remind you to open yourself up to your own self-compassion and patience and love. How we choose our words and the thoughts we give ourselves every day is creating our present moment. And the good news is that we have the power to choose those words and thoughts. They can lift us high or they can bring us low. Everything in our life is energy. From a baby to a lion, to our cell phone, to the stars up above, we are all vibration. And when you think about that, it almost seems so simple. But our quest for science in the modern world has created the conditioning for us to focus more on our physical senses. But it's holistically important to remember that we are here as body, mind, and soul. As a Reiki master practitioner and someone who is in never-ending amazement of energy and its healing abilities, I discovered that the easiest way to healing is by starting to talk to yourself with higher vibration words of love and compassion. Thoughts create our energy, and with that, our words are also energy. The ones we say or think fuel our body, our soul, and our environment. Every time we say a self-defeating or self-loathing comment to ourselves, we are stripping away our power. When we say things to ourselves like, I can't, I don't matter, nothing is going to change, I'm a failure, or I'm not worthy, we keep ourselves surrounded by that limited energy. We are literally taking away that light that lives inside each and every one of us. I think it's extremely important always, but I want to stress, especially during this time, that we take care in how we speak to ourselves and manage our energy. You know, we're all seeing glimpses of hope in the world again, and it's wonderful. But the energy of our world continues to shift. And even though we've been waiting for this new, better chapter, it's still creating another shift. Our world is still looking for its balance, and so are we. So as we travel further on this road, what if we created some new ways to talk to ourselves? You know, when I first heard someone years ago say that I should be more gentle with myself, I thought that that was such a strange thing to say. And my immediate reaction to myself was, oh, that is such a bad excuse for being lazy. Well, now I give you that exact advice. My response was just a conditioned thought I learned that there was no room for self-kindness, care, or compassion. If we can allow some loving thoughts for ourselves, this is the best thing we can do for our family, friends, and companion animals. If we shine, they can shine too. The power of your vibration not only helps those in your own personal lives, but it literally raises the planet's vibration as well. Changing the way you speak to yourself is an exercise like anything else. The more you flex it, the stronger it will become. And you can take baby steps and say phrases like, today I'm okay. Today I'm enough. Today I will find a way to live with ease. Today I feel safe. Today I did the best I could, and it's enough. Today I will choose to focus on all the small moments that bring me joy. Today I choose to feel the unconditional love that surrounds me. Today I can send out love to the universe because that will help others. Today I can live in a world in which I choose how I feel. Today I allow myself self-compassion. Today I am at peace. Our self-criticisms and judgments of ourselves can be cruel and harsh. And just maybe, as they did for me, they got a little more highlighted during a time in which we were all forced into some deep reflection. And maybe you just haven't had a chance to catch up to it yet. But when we can clear off the dust and align ourselves with loving thoughts, we connect to the unconditional love Spirit has for us. Divine Spirit sees you in a beautiful light. And this is the place I hope you can let in and see for yourselves. It's a place in which you are already a part of and can access at any time you desire. This is the divine spark that exists in each and every one of us. This is the pool of unconditional love that will remind you that you are worthy of and deserving of everything you desire. I would like to share with you a channeled message I received from Spirit just for this presentation. It's from them to you. They are loved. They are everything. They are the sunshine in the hearts of all beings. Their joy propels us forward into the ether with hope and love and light and the ability to achieve even greater pieces of ourselves. Your hope abounds and restores us on so many levels. Your love and compassion and the way you see your world and the strength you have inside of you is magic. It's pure magic. Your warrior sides, your internal mechanisms that allow you to defend yourself in a street fight or stand up for something you believe in that day, that moment. Every time you empower yourselves to be you, to be kind, to show love, to bring hope, you inspire us. You are a reservoir of joy, streaming with good intentions, and we learn so much from your physical realm. There cannot be a greater joy than seeing creation evolve into the bright light of being that it continues to achieve. And with that, we want you to know that life is eternal and life is life that begets life and more life. We are all one. Whether here or there or elsewhere, we are all singing the same song. It's just up to you. It's just up to each of you to find this inner spark, this divine being within you. It's an untapped resource that only you can trigger. Only you can find your way to it. That's the key. And once you find this place, your alignment for all you need, all you are, and all you can become will beam with such clarity, there will be no more doubts or fears for your path. Going within is a part of your earthly challenge with so many distractions and obstacles. It's the most challenging piece of life and the easiest to put at the bottom of the list of things to care about. Your life spark is a continuum of thousands of strands fueled by your lifetimes, your passions, your history of all that you are. And at any moment, you can tug at any of these strings and create a new pathway for yourself. Nothing is set in stone. Nothing is beyond your capability. Life is about finding the magic in your everyday life. Happiness is about creating a space in which you can feel contentment and joy all the time. It is not a destination. It is an ever-present, ever-needed feeling that sustains you as long as you desire. We love you. We are one. Thank you for your time. I'm sending you all love and light and the hope that you take great care of yourselves with kindness, compassion, and patience.
Thank you so much, Jen. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
A lot of things that I needed to hear for myself, but I'm sure that also applies for everybody else here as well. Yeah, an incredibly valuable lesson and message.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. And what I'll do is I'll send I'll put in the chat for everybody at the end of service the Pillow Pause, as well as Jen's website, jensuniverse.com, which you have a blog, don't you, on that, Jen, as well? You
Yes.
said no? Yeah.
Instagram too.
And Instagram. And if you just get Jen's website, that's okay. She does have the, you can, in her bio, she does also have the link for Pillows for Paws too. Yeah, take a look, see what else that Jen has to offer and her amazing light work that she does. So thanks again, Jen. And
thank you, Terence.
before we close the service, I will make just a few quick announcements of just some upcoming events, which I will share my very organized screen desktop for you all. And we got some upcoming events. Of course, service for next month will be April 7th at 7 p.m. That is a Wednesday. Then April 18th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. That will be a Sunday. I most likely will have either co-minister or a guest speaker for those two services, but that will be announced in our newsletter, which I will also send a link for you to subscribe to if you haven't already. We have some message circles coming up on March 26th, which is this upcoming Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It will be myself and Kenya Hall, who you are all very familiar with. And I'm fortunate to call her a friend, and we will be doing that message circle together. And you can go to awakeningny.com to reserve spots for any of those message circles. April 16th will be the next one after that. And no, that is not a typo. That is in fact 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We are changing our online message circles to 7 p.m. instead of 7:30 p.m. There was a few thoughts and some of those who intended that were like, I think Terence, maybe stretching to 9:30 is a little too late. And I agree. So I talked to Mariola, who runs, I partner with Awakening to put these message circles on, and she agreed. And starting in April, we will be having them at 7 p.m. so that extra half an hour can be used for rest and relaxation before one goes to bed. I know I will need it. And then, of course, my residency up in Awakening in Port Jarvis, New York continues, and I will be there April 17th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time for a message circle. I also spend the day up there doing private readings in person, and it's at 85 Pike Street in Port Jarvis, New York, which is actually a really nice ride on the New Jersey Transit all the way to the end of the Port Jarvis line if you feel like you want to take an adventure. And it's very scenic, that train ride. I take it every time I go out there. And with that, those are my announcements, and we will close the service with a benediction. So I have everybody close their eyes for a moment and take a few big, deep breaths in. Fill those lungs with some good vibrations and clean air, and really soak in all that we heard this sunny evening. Divine Parent, we thank you for the privilege of gathering here and exercising our love, our voices, and our reason. And let us take whatever we have received today and incorporate this joy into our daily lives as we go forth. Ever in your loving arms and embrace. Amen. And this is the part where everybody unmutes their mics and says hello. Shares their thoughts as I put some links in the chat. Oh, Janet, you're talking, but you're not unmuted.
My defense, Theo fell asleep too.
Oh, Theo.
Jen,
That was
so
also not
beautiful.
that difficult, right?
Thank you, Janet.
It was just beautiful. Just
Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you.
Exactly what most of us, I think, needed to
Thank
hear.
you, Jan. That was magnificent. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary.
Yeah, that was great, Jen.
Loved it.
Thanks.
Yeah, really wonderful.
Yep, we appreciate it, Jen.
And
Such a
thank you,
good read.
Terence,
Got
as
it.
usual. It's magnificent as well.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Terence. Thank you, Jen. Excellent. Very inspirational.
Thank you, Joseph. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Ah,
I'm putting some links in the chat for everybody. So I just put up Jen's website, now Pillows for Paws. All you have to do is click and it'll take you right there. And Jen, you didn't have any internet trouble. You came in crystal clear.
Me or Janet?
No, Jen.
Oh,
Because I feel like when we sign on group, you're like, my internet's not working.
oh yeah. That's true. Well, I logged on early so that I made sure. For some reason, every time with the group, I always have a problem getting on. Nowhere else. Funny.
today.
It's our group spirit guides that are just saying she can arrive fashionably late.
Oh, God.
Well, as I
Wait,
put
is
a
Sunny
few
there
more-
still?
What's
Is Sunny
that?
still there?
Yeah, Sunny's still
Sunny,
there.
you must be so proud.
Oh, I am. I think she did a beautiful
I
thing.
would think so. I would
Aw.
think so.
Yeah, I'm proud of her generally, but
This today was just extraordinarily beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
It really, Jen, it's one of the best talks I've heard. And I tune into several services. So it's not just the open doorway or
Wow.
whatever. It
Well,
was
that's
really
quite a
lovely.
compliment. Thank you very much.
That's very
I
beautiful.
think that is a big compliment.
Huge coming from Janet.
I think I met David. I'm pointing, I know you don't know where you are, but I think I met David at your party and Joseph.
Yes.
Joseph. I don't remember.
And Rosanna, if she's still there.
Roro,
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
yeah, there she is.
There she is.
Roro Rosanna.
Yeah, Roro.
Because she looked familiar too. Yeah. And Gladys is here.
Yes, I saw that.
I did. I didn't. I've made it.
and even I don't think I think she might have left. Irina, who's a newcomer to the Open Doorway, she chatted to everybody. Thank you very much, and it was wonderful. She's a good person that has been brought into the Open Doorway family. So she got to hear some wisdom from the not so new family.
Right. Right.
Mhm. Yep.
Ah,
And Gladys, hello Gladys. I
Yes.
had the pleasure of meeting you, Gladys.
Hi.
Gladys is one of Sunny's friends and definitely considered family for sure.
Okay. Well, then family for us too.
Lead.
Welcome, Gladys. Appreciate
Thank you.
being here.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Took me a while to get in, but I'm here.
You made it.
I made it. I made it. Yep.
Yeah, sometimes with technology, it's just like it's a hit or a miss.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I heard Jen's speech. It was
Me
wonderful.
too. Thank you,
Thank you.
Gladys.
Yeah.
I
They
think,
came at the right time.
and Paul is above.
Yeah, Paul's right there.
Paul's here.
Paul is here.